I'm in the house, Black Power, part 2. Putting that goddamn smoke down on these Negroes. Black Power, part 2. No, part 3 or part 2. Shit. Working out so much on these niggas. Hold on, family. Just working out. Just working out. Straight up. Just working out on these Negroes. Just working out. Oh, man. Let me get these lectures up. Part 2. Part 3 or part 2. That's right. Got that one up. Got that one up. Let me get it together. Let me get it together. That's right. I got all of them lined up. Ain't no getting away from me. I got you. I got you. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. That's right. Go get all the Medu niggas. I want your ass in the house today. I want you in the house today. I don't want no nigga skipping class. Go get him. Hey, bitch ass up in here. Matter of fact, let me bring all that up. Bring all that up. Gonna bring all this shit up. Go get all the Medu niggas. They mad as hell. But I ain't heard the peep out them Negroes. Ain't heard the peep. But they ain't got nothing to say. Ain't got shit to say. Motherfucker YMCA Medu class. I heard niggas felt. I said that. Who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? I just said positivity, didn't I? Well, I'm just cracking at them because I'm teaching a good word, and I just want to know why these Negroes would do this to our people. You understand what I'm saying? And lie to our people like this. And, you know, that called into question scholarship. I said, these motherfuckers ain't no top scholars. Ain't no motherfucker cracking these motherfuckers open like the God. You know what I'm saying? And I want to give much respect to the master teacher, Walter Williams, for helping to open my eyes to some very critical information about this subject. I got to give him a hell of a shout out. I got this in here. Let me go and get old Richard Lipsis. Go and get his weak ass. Put him on up here. Let me go and put him on up here. And when I get into Richard Lipsis, I'm gonna get into how they done switched over, you know what I'm saying? So conveniently, motherfuckers don't even show the Greek no more. The motherfuckers all into that goddamn they done switched over to Latin and all this shit. So you wouldn't see, you understand what I'm saying? Let me see. Is that for Ermin? I don't need that. I don't need that. If I do, I don't need it today. I'm gonna still work their ass out. It ain't gonna make no goddamn difference. Ain't no fleeing from me today. Let me see what the crowd looking like out there. I'm about to get started. Is my moderators in the house? Uh-oh. We got the family out there watching. Uh-oh. Got the family out there watching. That's right. Get their weak ass out of there. Don't have no mercy on them. Don't have no mercy on them. Don't have no mercy on them. Let me get this other light in here. Don't have no mercy on their ass. I'm about to get started in just 2 seconds. Once I get started, ain't gonna be no stop. Don't get their weak ass no. Don't give them no slack. Block their ass. We can't have people disrupting the class when we teach. Cannot have people disrupting the class when we teach. All right. Thank everybody for their support. Oh, I do need that. They got that old weak ass decree of kenosis and all this shit. Now today, family, let me get my phone lined up so I got that monitor. And then we about to put the nail in the coffin. We about to put the nail in the coffin. About to put the nail in the coffin. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, the title of today is The German-Jewish Conquest of Egyptology and the Medu. Okay? And it's necessary for me to bring out the so-called heavyweights. That none of these, and you know what? I'm just going to be upfront with you. I was peeping off into them niggas' works. All the niggas that, teaching the Medu. You understand what I'm saying? To see if these Egyptologists were in their references and had they used these so-called Egyptologists in writing their books and using these Egyptologists to verify their own works, and I'll be damned if they was not in there. So that either let me know, either you the white man nigga, or you just have no black power energy in your ass at all. Because there's no way that you're gonna be claiming to be African-centered, black power, and you got these racist Egyptologists in your reference work. You see what I'm saying? I say, damn. And I'm talking about some so-called heavyweights. Okay? Heavyweights. Had these racist white boys as, they used them as references. I say, that's the ones, you know what? Once I did the research on them, that was the first thing I did. All I needed to see was their name. I just went in niggas' books and just started cracking them open. As soon as I seen the motherfucking name, I already knew. I say, man, y'all motherfuckers is weak. Y'all ain't got no scholarship. If these motherfuckers using any of them Eurocentric scholars, nigga, they ain't got no scholarship. It's a wrap. Okay, if you got some, listen, when I started doing this research, I started clearing out my shelf. You understand what I'm saying? If I keep one of them white boys on my shelf, it's only to show you, the racist information that's in the book. But I clearly would not use any of that motherfucking information to verify anything about ancient Egypt. That is so fucking ridiculous. Okay? That is so fucking ridiculous. Now, I'm going to get started immediately. It's necessary. It's very, very necessary. And I'm gonna just go ahead and share my screen, and I'm gonna go to work. I'll come out when it's necessary. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers own Egyptology. Okay? The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers own Egyptology. Okay? Now, what's very clear to me that the Rothschild, that right there is, I think, is the father, Nathan Rothschild. You understand what I'm saying? Who is a Zionist, okay? A Talmudic, and if you don't know nothing about the Talmud, then you better run and get you some goddamn information in there where they talk about the black race as if they was dogs. You understand what I'm saying? So you know damn well once you understand what a Talmudic Jew is, you understand what they feel about black people. Because all you have to do is go in the Talmud and see what they think about you. So I don't want nobody to think that this Talmudic Zionist Jew got anything good to say about black people at all. Okay? You see right there when I say Talmudic Zionist, and you see that even though he dressed up in that top hat, that when he come up out of that top hat, he go right into the uniform of every other Talmudic Jew. Okay? Now this is one of his sons. I think this might have been Solomon. I don't know exactly. You can see him with his hand in his jacket to show you that they also Freemasons. You see, we got to lay this shit out. You got to, before you look, you got to read, as Dr. Ben said, you got to research the researchers. You got to look at their prejudices and their biases. You just gonna let anybody hand you some information and you ain't looking at the prejudices and biases of these people? So not only is he's a Zionist, he's a Freemason. You understand? We all know that the Rothschild was instrumental in setting up Israel, funding Israel. You could go right now to Israel and the Knesset, the Supreme Court of Israel, and a lot of their major buildings were funded by the Rothschilds. So they were Zionists, and Zionists is those that created a nation. You understand? That were fighting for the nation of Israel. So Rothschild was very fundamental because he was one of the ones that put the money up. You understand what I'm saying? So he the King Zionist. Okay? And as you see, the Rothschild in his Masonic stance, or the hidden hand, then you come right over here and you see Champollion and Napoleon are Freemasons. And we all understand that Freemasonry, the basis of Freemasonry, modern Freemasonry, was what they stole up out of Egypt, even though they didn't understand a damn thing. You understand what I'm saying? They updated their Freemason rites based on what they found in ancient Egypt. So right there, you got you got a jealous fraternal organization who looking at the oldest fraternal organization on the earth, and now they trying to undermine that organization. You understand what I'm saying? By saying that they have deciphered if you decipher the wisdom, then now you the sole controller. You are the sole controller at this time. So you got to also understand that Egyptology is a Freemason organization. That a lot of those Egyptologists are Freemasons. They're also Jews. You understand what I'm saying? And once you understand the basis of both organizations, you already know the interpretation that you're going to get from these people. Okay? And none of these Negroes is telling y'all this. Okay? Look at this. You also see to the right is his brother. You understand? Champollion brother all the way to the right. Now, it should be noted that Champollion didn't publish none of that shit while he was alive. Everything, majority of the things that was published under Champollyon's name, his brother put it out after his brother edited it. Okay? Now, you understand, who is he? Who is he? See, when he saw some things that they didn't like, you understand what I'm saying? Champollion probably said. And the crazy thing about it, that Champollion himself, and a lot of people don't bring that up, he himself originally thought that the hieroglyphs was esoterical. So I don't want nobody to, think that motherfucker just pulling shit up out the air. He himself thought that the hieroglyph was esoterical. And then somehow, something that Thomas Young, who was another scholar that started to try to decipher the Rosetta Stone before Champollion, I don't know what it was that he saw, because I done already broke down the methodology was garbage. Then for some odd reason, he began to believe that the hieroglyphs was alphabetical and that they could be deciphered. So for Champollion himself to once believe that the Medu was esoterical, what does esoterical mean? It means it's a secret language. And unless the authors of the language give you the information, you will never know it. Okay? And so somehow he believed that now it was alphabetical and it could be deciphered. I don't know how he could believe that without primary verification, meaning coming from the mystery system, the priest or the mystery system, letting him know that he was correct. You can't make yourself correct, nigga. The only people that can say if you correct is the people that created the system, in which you do not have, no primary verification. Matter of fact, Champollion created the alphabet in his attic. He had never even been to Africa, had never even asked the African shit. So I'm sick of you niggas acting like this white boy then deciphered a 2,000-year-old language that been dead, and dead in the sense that the people who know the information are no longer here to give you the information, to tell you whether you're correct or not. Okay? And so you can see here that he's step for step, just like all the other races, Freemasons. You see him with his hidden hand, and when you got a hidden hand, that means you hiding the truth. Okay, and so we here today to expose the truth. And see, he's right in fellowship with all the other, George Washington, Joseph Stalin, goddamn Karl Marx. You understand what I'm saying? So we know what background he's from. You see what I'm saying? And to understand that a lot of his teachers were also Jews. He had Jewish teachers. You see what I'm saying? So and he even had Arab teachers. So I don't want nobody to believe that this French white boy, homosexual, there's what was. I got literature on that they got documentation that he was into homosexual acts. Nobody brought that up neither. You understand what I'm saying? I'll do that for another time. Okay? And so the Freemasons lust to replace ancient Egypt as the most illustrious fraternal order in the world. So you can see how they mimicking, putting on wigs like the Neomis crowd. They are imitators. They're not the original. Yeah, and we got to make it clear today. You understand what I'm saying? Champollion is the Christ of Egyptology, which is a religion. And this is Egyptology stands on Champollion. And so once you destroy Champollion, every book on your goddamn shelf that got to do with the history of Egypt, with Egyptology, with the Medu or anything, is you got to throw that shit in the garbage. You see what I'm saying? So goes Champollion, so goes Egyptology. And so this is the Rothschild, who owns the Rosetta Stone. Right, that's right. We're talking about the Rothschilds who own the British Museum. Damn near own all of London and damn near own all the major damn banking systems on the goddamn globe. Okay, I'm gonna get off into it. Verifiable fact that the Rothschilds was trustees of the damn of the British Museum and funded many other Egyptologists in the world, funded them. I got to verify if it wasn't the Rothschilds, it was the goddamn Rockefellers. Okay, and let me tell y'all something. The Black Power explosion didn't even get started to 1980. So there wasn't no niggas talking no Medu or nothing. So all of this happened long before the Black Power explosion. Long before these Negroes became the masters of the white man's Medu system and sprinkled some nigga sugar on it and tried to clean it up. Didn't want to destroy the white man's false information on our ancestors. They just tried to put some sugar on the shit because you standing on his shoulders. You niggas cannot talk about the Christians. You niggas cannot talk about the Muslims. And goddamn it, and you got a white Christ in goddamn Champollion. Okay? And then you want to talk about the great revolutionaries of Haiti who were fighting against the goddamn French. What side do you niggas want to be on? How the hell could they have deciphered the damn Medu and they killing our people in Haiti, killing our people all in Africa, killing the very creators of the damn Medu? If you can't treat us right, how the fuck you gonna teach us right? And you can't teach us something that you don't know anyway. So when you're dealing with Freemasonry, you got to understand that the Jews run Freemasonry. Okay? The Jews run Freemasonry. So the Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of Pennsylvania, you see right there that all up, see, this is their understanding of the Medu. They don't see you in it. They believe that the great white race is responsible for ancient Egypt, as I went over yesterday. If you wasn't here yesterday, then go back and watch that. Okay? And so they're going there and you know, they understand, see how they didn't Egyptianize Freemasonry. See, when Napoleon went up in Egypt, then they was, you know, they started, you know, they had what they call Egypt mania. That's when they start Egypt everything. Obelisks for tombstones. They having Egyptian style mausoleums all through the damn cemetery. See, they went Egypt crazy. Even, you know, grinding up mummies. You understand what I'm saying? They was even stealing mummies out of Egypt, using them for goddamn fuel for the goddamn trains and shit. Steam engines. This is what they thought about the ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? That they would grind them up. They used to grind them up and drink the damn mummy. They call it mumia until all they silly asses start dying. You're going to go get a goddamn 2,000-year-old mummy, grind it up, sprinkle it. They was using it for, you know, salt and pepper and shit, sprinkling it on their food and shit, putting it in their drinks and shit, thinking it would give them some type of eternal life and shit. Okay, so this is in step for step with the goddamn Medu now. Okay, and this is showing you, you know, the Rothschild. You understand what I'm saying? They had the goddamn the 6-pointed star on their shield before the goddamn flag of Israel. That's where the goddamn star came from. Came off the Rothschild. You under the red shield. And you see right there the Freemasons right there in Israel. When you look in the back, that pyramid, you understand, is in Israel, and that's the free and accepted Scottish Rite Masons right there in Israel to let you know who run it. And so when we talking about who owns the Rosetta Stone, we talking about the Rothschild. How is that? See, we talking, and so we talking some good shit today. Okay, we got to talk about who funding this shit. Because them Egyptologists got the right with the funders who cashing their ass out is telling them the right. I got books by Wallace Budge, where if you open up that Osiris Resurrection, the Osirian drama, he gives a shout out to Rothschild. He said, goddamn it, the Rothschild gave him permission to write the goddamn book. And that's because Wallace Budge was the curator of the Egyptian section of the British Museum. And anything that he wrote, he had to get permission from the Jew to write it. Ain't nobody telling you that. And so I got to tell you. And so now let's deal with the linguists. Let's deal with the linguists. Okay? Now you got all type of Egyptologists. You see right there, because the majority of them are German. And then nobody tell you that the majority of the linguists that created the Medu, even before the Black Power explosion, they were damn near done with it. Okay? They were already done with it. Okay? So the same Jew that created the fake Yiddish, modern Hebrew, they got so many fake languages out here right now. You see what I'm saying? So he done created a fake language, which they call Hebrew, which ain't nothing but German, Yiddish, and Arabic. That's all that it is. Okay? And the same man that created the fake modern Hebrew is also responsible for creating the fake Medu. Okay? Now, if you look at the top, that's Richard Lipsis. Nah, Richard Lipsis is a German. It wasn't even Germany at that time. It was Prussia. That just let you know where you're going with it. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at Indiana Jones and you watch the first one and he fighting, matter of fact, damn near all of them, the first 2, 3 of them, he fighting with the Germans. You understand what I'm saying? Because Richard Lipsis, next to Napoleon, just like Napoleon, when he went into Egypt, he took all kind of scientists, surveyors, architects. You understand? He took a lot of trained individuals into Egypt. And so Richard Lipsis did exactly the same thing. He was funded by the Prussian king of Prussia. So he was given all the surveyors, all the scientists, and so this is when the Germans went into Egypt. Okay, and that was the fundamental backdrop of Indiana Jones and the Germans being in Egypt. Now, Richard Lipsis, while he was in Egypt, he found a stela that was similar to the Rosetta Stone. He was the next great Egypt, and I'm not saying great that he was great, but he was the one that stood out from the rest. You understand what I'm saying? Right after Champollion, he picked up the mantle from Champollion in pushing the fraudulent hieroglyphic system. Okay? He added some things to it, and from that point on, the Egyptologists of the world accepted the alphabet of Champollion and Richard Lipsis. Okay, I must say that. Champollion and Richard Lipsis. Because before Richard Lipsis, the goddamn alphabet was not lauded by the world of Egyptology as being no great invention. Okay? Nobody was really using the goddamn alphabet. And the question came to me, I'm like, damn, if it was really the decipherment of the Medu, why didn't nobody accept it as such? Why didn't his colleagues use the alphabet of Champollion? Only until Richard Lipsis, which was a German, and I didn't get off into all because it wasn't even necessary for me to do that. When Richard Lipsis added his particular he added his spin on the Medu. Then the world of Egyptology, you begin to accept it. And now if you go down one level to the left, that's Adolf Erman. Now he's the student of Richard Lipson. Now outside of Champollion, he might have more influence on the Medu than any one individual. Okay, he's the one that was, the lead Egyptologist in completing the largest dictionary of Egyptology in the world. It's called the Great Berlin Dictionary. Okay, he was the lead Egyptologist, and he brought 80 Egyptologists of that day together to work on this great Berlin Dictionary, okay, of Egyptology, including at the bottom to the left, Gardner, Sir Alan Gardner, who was an Englishman. And a lot of English-speaking people like to use Alan Gardner. But, I have to let people know that he went to school in Germany. Okay, majority of them went to school in Germany. Now, if you look to the right in the second row, next to Adolf Erman is another Jew. Adolf Erman is a Jew. I must state that. Okay, he's a Jew. When Hitler took control of Germany, he was a professor at the University of Berlin. And when Hitler took control, they put his ass out of there. They didn't kill him, but they put him out of there because they said he had 1/4 Jew in his blood. He had more than that. His family tried to turn Protestant to keep from Hitler putting that fire on their ass. Okay, but he kicked it. And only when Hitler was defeated was he allowed to come back into the university. The Egyptologist next to him is Kurt Seff, another Jew, I might add. Okay, he is the teacher of Alan Gardner at the bottom, which most English-speaking people use when studying the Medu. Okay, so the Jew taught the Englishman. And then the last one at the bottom is Faulkner, who is another one of the English-speaking scholars that the English people like to use, and he was taught by Alan Gardner. So it all boils down that the Germans and the Jews taught the whole world the structure of modern Egypt hieroglyphics. Okay, that's facts. Okay, that's facts. The Germans and the Jews got sole control of that accomplishment. Okay, now this is the Berlin University, the Vatican City of the Medu. You understand what I'm saying? And so I got them in sequence, and then I'm gonna even add more of the scholars as we move along. And as I was studying this shit, do you know that motherfucker W.E.B. Du Bois went to the Berlin University? I say, damn, what the fuck was he doing way over there in that damn university? You know that nigga bootleg. You understand? As I was doing it just popped up. They say, damn, even W.E.B. Du Bois went to this damn university. Okay? And so the white boy next to W.E.B. Du Bois is Henry Breasty. And he's the first chair of Egyptology in America. Went to school right there in Berlin University. So even the white boys that in Britain, in America, went to school in Berlin or was taught by a professor from Berlin. Okay, Germans and Jews controlled and invented the Medu facts. Okay, and so now this is Homeball. This is Homeball. Who is Homeball? Him and his brother are the founders of the Berkeley University. They was the ones that spoke for Richard Lipsis to the king of Prussia. Say, send him. He's the most, technical scholar of the day. Send him to do the research over in Egypt. So this is Humboldt. And you see right there, he got the Iron Cross right there on his goddamn jacket. So you motherfuckers got Nazis. You at a fucking Nazi fucking university. This shit is ridiculous that y'all don't know. That y'all don't know that. And I had to take that out because they're going to cry if I put that up there, because it was known that he was sideways too, the Humboldt. Okay? So you see here, Richard Lipsis, Egyptian expedition, 1842 to 1846, Champellion's successor, the St. Peter of Egyptology. You see what I'm saying? He's Champollion is the Christ, and Champollion is the successor. He's the St. Peter of Egyptology, a German, okay, a German. And then his student, Adolf Ehrman, who created the largest dictionary of Medu ever constructed, a Jew, St. Paul of Egyptology. Come on now. We want somebody to refute these facts, who all saw the ancient Egyptians as a white race. And so when I popped open these niggas' books, all these niggas on Medu, I seen these white boys in the reference section. They referencing these motherfuckers. Even the big boys, like Obinga. That's right, I called your name, Obinga. Had Adolf Ehrman, and not he was using his methodology. I say, wow. Wait a minute. And so you see him right there. You see him with his hand on the edge of either a chair or whatever. That's Masonic. Okay, that's Masonic. That's Masonic right there. They'll find the edge of a table and put that hand on it. That's Masonic. And so we already know he's a Freemason. Now look at this. Look at this. Lipsis published widely in the field of Egyptology and is considered the father of modern scientific discipline of Egyptology, assuming a role that Champollion might have achieved had he not died so young. Much of his work is fundamental to the field. Indeed, Lipsis even coined the phrase Book of the Dead. Okay? He was also listen to this. He was also a leader in the field of African linguistics, though his ideas are now mainly considered to be outdated. Okay? Based on his work in the ancient Egyptian language and his field work in the Sudan, Lipsis developed a standard alphabet for transliterating African languages. Okay? And it says it was published in 1855 and revised in 1863. Now I'm gonna go down here where it says standard alphabet by Lipsis, because we brought this out. You understand what I'm saying? That you cannot use the African languages as they are constructed today, because most languages on the planet have now been transliterated into Latin. You see what I'm saying? So, niggas can play games with you now, because they done smoothed out all the contradictions that would come up if you left it in the indigenous African language. So if you look down here, it says standard alphabet by Lipsis. The standard alphabet is a Latin script alphabet developed by Carl Richard Lipsis. Lipsis initially used it to transcribe Egyptian hieroglyphs. See that? See that? And I'm gonna deal with that. Cause that was slick. Because Latin ain't even on the goddamn stone. You see what I'm saying? And so you can't come add nothing that's not on the stone. That's like planting motherfucking evidence. You see what I'm saying? That's like planting shit on a motherfucker to get an outcome. You see? So lips is initially used to transcribe Egyptian hieroglyphs and extended it to write African languages. Published in 1854 and 1855, and in a revised edition in 1863. Okay, now let me show y'all something to what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna come back to that to show you how slick these motherfuckers be. Here we go, right here. Now, if you look at the top, that was the supposed Greek on the motherfucking stone. And as you can see, the lettering is totally different from the motherfucking Latin at the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? And then I seen motherfuckers spell Ptolemy so many different goddamn ways based on, like I said, based on adding vowels. You understand what I'm saying? Let me just get the Ptolemy at the bottom is in Latin. Ain't no motherfucking Latin on the stone. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at the top, you see what I'm saying? Now the first two I's is supposedly one letter. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters at the bottom, at the top. You only got 8 motherfucking glyphs in the hieroglyphs. Okay, so right there let you know you can't match letter for symbol right there. Okay, now if you come down to the bottom, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 8. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 8 symbols. So they smoothed it out. They smoothed it out. You understand what I'm saying? They tried to match letter for goddamn letter. Now the P at the bottom is supposedly silent. So you say Ptolemy. You understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to say Ptolemy. So why the fuck is the P there? Okay? Why is the P there? So not only do you got Latin, now you got English grammatical rules where you will put a symbol up there. I don't know, what is it, a placeholder? If the motherfucker ain't being pronounced, why is it there? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like they added something just to, match it letter for letter. You see, but when you go to the original, like at the top, you see the 2 E's in Ptolemy? Ain't no motherfucking E's in that top Greek. Ain't no E's. You see what I'm saying? You see an I, you see an O, you see A, I, O, or whatever that letter is. You don't see no E-E-S. All of that ain't even in there. You see the M, and you don't see no L. You see an alpha, and you see the E. Then you don't see no P. You see them 2 goddamn I's at the top. So they slick at that shit. You won't go and plant no motherfucking information to smooth it out. The fact was you could not make a clean translation. You see what I'm saying? So they had to smooth the shit out and fool you niggas by putting up the Latin. There is no Latin on the stone. Matter of fact, Latin came into existence damn near, 800-900 years after the Medu was fully complete. So you can't come 800 and 900 years after the fact changing shit. So Richard Lipsis was responsible for that motherfucking Latinizing all these languages. And in Latinizing it, he smoothed it out. You understand why they don't never show y'all the Greek? They don't want to show y'all because you're going to easily look down there and see that it's letters that are not in Latin. God damn it, what the fuck is going on? So right there you can see, nigga, they're going deeper and deeper and deeper into the you know, the confusion, the state of chaos. Okay? Now, these is the Greek letters. I mean, the Latin letters to show you that that's Latin. And it ain't had nothing to do with no goddamn what was on the stone. Without an understanding of the alphabetical and grammatical differences between Latin and Greek, you don't understand what is added and what is lost in the translation. You see what I'm saying? You don't see no damn Latin. You see the Rosetta. You see any Latin on there? There is no Latin on there. Two total different languages, okay? And the Latin is supposedly coming from Etrusca, okay? So it's many steps in between Greek and goddamn Latin. And then you using modern Latin. You're not even using ancient Latin, okay? They didn't smooth that out. So they have jumped from ancient Greek to modern Latin and ain't showed y'all motherfuckers not one step of how you move from each language to each and what you lose when you go. And to be frank, the original goddamn methodology was fraudulent. So each step you go in, the deeper and deeper and deeper in chaos you go. Okay? So let me go back up here. Let me ride this out. What this say? Cleverly, this is Latin. Latin is not on the Rosetta Stone. Latin should never be used. Okay? They done tried to smooth out the inconsistencies that was there with Greek. So you got some translations where Champollion used Coptic, then he used Greek, he used Coptic, and now today they done Latinized that. So goddamn it, you got three goddamn languages that you using on one fucking translation, and then you got steps that then been left out to show you what was lost in the translations from one motherfucking language to the next. Don't you niggas know you ain't speaking no goddamn African? Nigga, you speaking Coptic and Greek that been Latinized. God damn it. And if you go to the Frenchman, God damn it, listen to this. English is Germanic. English is Germanic. You see what I'm saying? The French come from Vulgar Latin. Okay? Two different languages. Even though they both using the Latin alphabet, French is from Vulgar Latin and English is from German. So if you take a motherfucking French Egyptologist and mix his ass with an Englishman, look at what you got. You got a Coptic and Greek Latinized, then you got a German vowel system and another French vowel system added on top of that. Nigga, you got so many cuts on that shit, it's ridiculous. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. If you niggas can't see that y'all niggas is in a deep, deep well that's going nowhere, shame on you. The Romans supposedly got their alphabet from the Etruscans, who got their alphabet from the Greeks. Okay, and where the fuck did the Greeks get their goddamn alphabet from? You understand what I'm saying? Where did they get their alphabet from? Okay, let's be clear. The first cut is fraudulent, and every successive cut takes you deeper into a chaotic abyss and ignorant illusion of success. An ignorant illusion of success. When you look at the Greek, okay, the first two is supposedly pi. Okay, that's one letter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters on 8 glyphs, okay? Which means you cannot match them goddamn letter to glyph. That just show you that, okay? And that's what's another thing, a key indicator that in the Medu net on the Rosetta Stone, it's supposed to be, I forget how many lines. I'm gonna go in there and get it. How many lines of Medu net? It's goddamn, you only got where it's supposed to be something like 70. You understand what I'm saying? With something like 50 goddamn lines of Greek. So you can't match them up letter to goddamn symbol. That's not going to happen. Even the Demotic had different lines, 50-some lines. So none of the damn scripts would have had the same amount of lines, the same amount of letters or symbols. So there's no way for you to match them up letter to symbol. It's impossible. So what did you do? You just choose a few of the motherfuckers to create a fake goddamn language, but it ain't no motherfucking way you matching that shit up. That's impossible. So any cut thereafter, because the first one is fraudulent, okay? With the Greek, was no clean cut. That's why they needed Coptic. That's like planting motherfucking information, planting evidence on the motherfucker. That wasn't there, okay? The Greek, if you can't do it with the Greek, it's a failure, okay? Let's be clear about it. And so there was no clear cut. They could not match it up. Plus, you got over 5,000 symbols. You see what I'm saying? 700 to 800 that are commonly used. How is you gonna take 800 goddamn symbols and shorten them down to 26 and make a fake ass language like that? I'm sick of that. Banging hard today. So any cut thereafter, any mixture of adage is even more fraudulent. Okay? Even more fraudulent. Let me go back up to old Richard Lipsis. Let me get back on his ass. Let me get back on his weak ass. Going hard today. There you go. I think they up here. Had to go hard on that shit. And then I'm going to show you, how they added this fake shit to the Bible to give it validity. Now we on Adolf Herman. Now the top, if you look at the spelling, that's in German. And it means Dictionary of the Egyptian Language. Okay, abbreviated WB in bibliographic references. It's a large German language dictionary of the Egyptian language published between 1926 and 1961 by Adolf Herman and Herman Grappa. It is a comprehensive work encompassing 3,000 years of linguistic history, including Old, Middle, and Late Egyptian, as well as hieroglyphic inscriptions of the classical Greco-Roman period. The dictionary contains approximately 6,000 head words in 5 main volumes, 2 secondary volumes, and 5 volumes of primary source references. It is therefore the largest and most complete printed dictionary of ancient Egyptian in existence. Okay? And you see right there, Grappa, another German. Okay? Another German. And so the largest dictionary of Medu, ancient Egyptian in existence, was created in Germany by Germans and Jews. Okay? And let me tell you something. The Black Power explosion had not even started yet. They were already complete, damn near complete, before the Black Power explosion, niggas claiming to be teaching Medu was even in existence. Okay? So stop playing with me. You're not gonna come after all of this and then sprinkle nigga sugar on top, sugar on shit, and serve it to the people and call it Jello pudding. Ain't gonna let you do it. Okay? Listen to this. The Dictionary of the Egyptian Language begun by Adolf Herman in 1897. You hear that? 1897. Where was you at in 1897? Good Negro. Where was you at? Was you doing Medu in 1897? Okay, well, this is where it begun. Begun by Adolf Herman in 1897 at the Prussian Academy of Science. His novel approach was to first create a comprehensive index of all primary source materials then available, rather than to start a dictionary on selected excerpts. This method built an ancient Egyptian lexicography that is still important today. Between 1897 1940, with the participation of more than 80 domestic and foreign Egyptologists, including Alan Gardner, who a lot of people like to use Alan Gardner, okay? He was also a part of that 80 domestic and foreign Egyptologists. The majority of known Egyptian texts was recorded and archived. Do you hear that? Not a nigga on site yet. Not no nigga doing nothing. You understand? Outside of the field research that the elders is doing, but they ain't busted on the scene yet. You see what I'm saying? The majority of known Egyptian text was recorded and archived. When was that? 1897 to 1940. No niggas got no Medu classes at the YMCA. 1995 Medu classes not available yet. Okay? The first published dictionary of the Egyptian language, 13 volumes, was from Berlin, Leipzig, Berlin, between 1926 and 1931. Okay? 13 volumes appeared in 1926, 1931, with revised editions until 1963. Other notable Egyptologists who contributed to the dictionary included Kurt Heinrich Seth, a Jew, another Jew, along with Adolf Ehrman, and Hermann Grappau, a Nazi, at over 16,000 entries and over 1.5 million words. Do you hear that? So all that shit you niggas talking is only bits and pieces of this. And I'm sick of you niggas. Y'all motherfuckers is out of here. This monumental work remains the largest printed dictionary of ancient Egyptian in existence. Okay? In existence. To this day. Okay? And I'm gonna go down here, and this shit just gonna break backs. Okay? If that didn't break motherfucker back, watch what this do. The project was launched in 1897 by Adolf Ehrman during the reign of Wilhelm II and supported with 120,000 Rick marks. The project was undertaken at scientific academies in Berlin, elected by a commission. Although cooperative international work was interrupted by World War I, the number of archived source texts had grown. Listen to that: 1,374,806 by 1918. Do you see that? The number of archived source texts had grown to 1,374,806 by 1819. Nigga, we was still walking around here on dirt roads with no motherfucking shoes on our feet. What the fuck is y'all talking about? Trying to get from up under slavery. They already done advanced this shit. Ehrman and Grappau published an intermediate result of the work as the Egyptian Concise Dictionary in 1921. Listen to this. Listen to this. In 1926, the 5 main volumes financed by John Davison Rockefeller Jr. Okay? There we go. So when we talk about the largest dictionary, ancient Egyptian dictionary, all this research funded, financed by John Davison Rockefeller. Okay? So Adolf Ehrman, the Ashkenazi Jew, has created the largest ancient Egyptian dictionary to date. It has the greatest impact on Egyptian hieroglyphics outside of Champollion himself. And I might even change that. He might have had, I must say, he has had a greater influence than Champollion. Okay, because Champollion only created 9 to some, I don't know how many goddamn, he didn't have that many symbols. He didn't have no, I don't know if he created the whole 26 letter fake ass alphabet or not. But when he died, I don't even think that shit was complete. So this Jew, this Ashkenazi Jew, has had more influence on Egyptian hieroglyphs than any one individual. Okay, let's be clear about it. Now, listen to this. Now, we talking about Henry Breasted. That's all the way on the right. That's Rockefeller right there to the left and Adolf Ehrman in the middle. James Henry Breasted, who is the first chair of Egyptology in all of America. So when you're talking about the first chair, and when you say chair, that means you have a department of Egyptology where you're giving out fucking degrees. If you had a degree in Egyptology before Henry Breasted, you had to go to a country that was giving out degrees, and majority of them went to Berlin. Okay? James Henry Breasted played a very important part in modern archaeological history. He received his doctorate under Adolf Ehrman in 1894. He was the founder of the Oriental Institute right there in Chicago. Okay, he was the first archaeologist to be elected to membership in the National Academy of Sciences. He made several trips to Egypt with two seasons from 1905 through 1907, and he helped Howard Carter decipher the seals from the tomb of Tutankhamun in 1922 and 1923. Okay. So that shows you right there that Egyptology in America came through Adolf Ehrman, the Jew German, okay? He was the one that gave the first degree to the first chair of Egyptology in America. Now, Trip, watch this. Listen to this. This is Henry Breasted, okay? Was an American archaeologist, Egyptologist, and historian. After completing his PhD at the University of Berlin in 1894, he joined the faculty of the University of Chicago. In 1901, he became the director of the Haskell Oriental Museum at the university, where he continued to concentrate on Egypt. Now you see Oriental, that's what I mean. That was the main research that was being done before ancient Egypt. Most of them cats was fucking Orientalists, and that's why, you know, they tried to explain Sumeria by way of Egypt by way of Sumeria, because the majority is, because Sumeria is Oriental. Okay, that's what you talking about. You know, the so-called Middle East and the Far East. That's Oriental. So that's where you get this, you know, in the history books, where they try to explain Egypt by way of Sumer. Okay, because the majority of them fake motherfuckers writing that shit was first Orientalists before they became Egyptologists. In 1905, Breasted was promoted to full professor and held the first chair in Egyptology and Oriental history in the United States. So the first place where you could get a degree in Egyptology or Oriental history was at the University of Chicago Oriental Institute. That was the first place where you could get a degree. Okay, under Henry Breasted, who got his degree at the University of Berlin under the Jew German Adolf Ehrman. Okay, okay, I don't even need to go there. So that's the Oriental Institute of Chicago, and that's where they got that Danubian artifacts right there in the Oriental Institute of Chicago, and they kept that shit in the basement, showing that Nubia was the mother of ancient Egypt, had all the tombs, and had all the artifacts and motherfucker went down there in the basement and they had the shit hid because they did not want to tell the truth because the majority of them motherfuckers was trying to teach that Egypt was a white race. I'm sick of y'all. Okay, y'all busted today. Oriental Institute. Now here go another. I'm dropping bombs now. I'm dropping bombs now. I got to drop them. Got to drop them now. The Oriental Institute, established in 1919, is the University of Chicago's interdisciplinary research center for ancient Near Eastern, Orient studies and archaeology museum. It was founded for the university by Professor James Henry Breasted with funds donated by John D. Rockefeller Jr. I'll be damned. This motherfucker that financed the largest fucking studies on fucking Medu, and he founded the Orient. This motherfucker owned Egyptology. What is y'all talking about? What is y'all Negroes talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Now, there's Herman Grappa. There's Herman Grappa, who helped, he's a fake German Egyptologist, who helped, and along with Kurt Henry Seth, who was Adolf Ehrman's student, along with Henry Breasted. Now, here go Alan Gardner. Okay, for a lot of niggas out there, you could go right there to any Negro book after you watch this video, and you go through their reference book and see if any of these motherfucking Egyptologists in it, and you got them. Now, if you want to accept Jews and Germans as your research scholars for African sacred language, go right on ahead, nigga. Go right on ahead. Most of us already done woke up by this point. You understand what I'm saying? Jewish trained British English Egyptology. So Alan Gardner, his teacher was Kurt Heinrich Seth, who was the student of Adolf Ehrman. Okay? Now that's Faulkner. Okay? What's his name? I see he got it right here. Faulkner, Raymond Faulkner. And he wrote all these books. The Ancient Egyptian Coffin Text, Middle Egyptian, Faulkner, the Ancient Egyptian Pyramid Text, Book of the Dead, Faulkner. He was a student of Alan Gardner. Okay? So Faulkner and Alan Gardner are probably the two most used Egyptologists as far as the linguistic, language of Egyptology, okay, of ancient Egyptian Medu. Alan Gardner and Faulkner are probably in the English world the two most used linguists, okay? And Alan Gardner was taught by Kurt Heinrich Seth, a Jew, a German from Berlin, and he was student of Adolf Ehrman. Okay, he was a student of Adolf Ehrman. So this is here you go. When you're looking at what's that movie? God damn it, I just lost. Raiders of the Lost Ark. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the Germans was in Egypt, because they represent these group of German scholars that was sent to Egypt to rob Egypt of his history. Okay, let me come up. Okay, that's Kurt Heinrich Seth, showing that he was a Jew. Okay, English Raymond Faulkner, 1894 to 1890, one of the greatest English Egyptologists, Sir Alan Gardner. Okay, let me come out of this. Now let me go to Wallace Budge now. I got to go to Wallace Budge now, because he's another British English trained Egyptologist. Okay? Now, Budge was taught by where he at? I don't even thought I'd bring him up. Where that motherfucker at? Here you go. Right here. Here you go, right here. Let me bring this motherfucker up. This shit is ridiculous, man. Okay, let me put him right there. But this motherfucker keep going on and on and on. Okay. Now let me bring Bud's ass up. Okay, this is Wallace Bud. Now most everybody got Wallace Bud's books because Wallace Bud was the most published of any as far as books. He's the most published Egyptologist of all time. You understand what I'm saying? He got damn near a book on everything, and he don't know shit, but he did write as one of the only Egyptologists that the Egyptians was from the South. And they hung his ass out to dry for that shit too. You understand what I'm saying? Flinders Petrie got on his weak ass. You understand what I'm saying? Because he taught that. You see? But he still had that Caucasian, supremacy ideal about himself. You see what I'm saying? He began to change his motherfucking viewpoint. The pressure was on his ass, okay? But he was an English Egyptologist, Orientalist, there you go again, who worked for the British Museum and published numerous works on ancient Near East. He made numerous trips to Egypt and the Sudan on behalf of the British Museum, right there where the Rosetta Stone is, to buy antiquities and to help it build its collection of cuneiform. Listen here. Bud entered the British Museum in 1883 in the recently renamed Department of Egyptian and Assyrian Antiquities. Initially appointed to the Assyrian section, he soon transferred to the Egyptian section. See how all these Orientalists are now becoming Egyptologists? And you wonder why they always trying to explain Egypt by way of Sumer. See, this is why it's happening. Somebody got to tell y'all that. All of the fucking Egyptologists is also Orientalists. They Orientalists. That's why when you look at the goddamn Coptic, they say that it's a part of the Afro-Asiatic language and ain't no sub-Saharan languages in that family. Man, somebody got to wake you niggas up. He studied the English Egyptian language with Samuel Birch. This man, wait a minute. Here you go, right here. Samuel Birch with the nice Templar cross on it. First serious Egyptologist at the British Museum who majored in Chinese. Samuel Birch never went to Egypt in his whole life. Never went to Egypt in his whole life, majored in Chinese, and became the first Egyptologist of the British Museum. And this is who Wallace Budge trained under. A man that never went to Egypt, didn't even know what the fuck Egypt was. They just say, motherfucker, be in charge of the Egyptian section of the goddamn British Museum. So he was pushing that the hieroglyphs he used Chinese for a while. He was trying to explain the hieroglyphs by way of the Chinese motherfucking glyph. This is it very well may be a connection, but that shit so far down the line that it don't even count. It don't even count. Everybody used the ancient Egyptian symbolism to create a language. That don't mean they mean the same goddamn thing. Okay? So what's key is when Wallace Budge was the curator at the British Museum, Lionel Walter Rothschild was the trustee, and they still the trustees of the British Museum. So we talking about the Rothschild, we talking about the Rockefellers. The Rothschilds own the British Museum, okay? We talking about the Rothschild. And when you, if you get the book, the Osirian Drama, Volume 1 and 2 by Wallace Budge, when you open up Volume 1 in the dedication, he dedicates the book to Lionel Walter Rothschild and stated in that book that Lionel Walter Rothschild gave him the permission to write the motherfucking book. So that lets you know right there that Wallace Budge was an agent of the Rothschild family, okay? And whatever he wrote about the Egyptians being from the south from Sudan and Central East Africa, he began to change his fucking view when Lionel Walter Rothschild took over. We can't have that. And I can back that up right here. Rothschild was a member of many scientific societies. Along in collaboration with his staff, he published many papers and monographs on biological subjects. His museum held the largest collection of natural history specimens ever assembled by one man. This motherfucker sending motherfuckers all over the world to get shit. You see, and he had the biggest collection of natural history specimens ever assembled by one man. In 1932, the bird collection was sold because of a shortage of funds. That's at the British Museum, to the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. Rothschild willed his museum and his unique library to the British Museum, London, of which he was a trustee. Okay, let's go down there. And up under trustee, you'll see Rothschild was awarded an honorary degree by the University of Gießen in 1898 and was elected a trustee of the British Museum in 1899 and was elected a fellow of Royal Society in 1911. What is a trustee? An individual person or member of a board given control or powers of administration of property in trust with a legal obligation to administer it solely for the purposes specified. He was the administrator while Wallace Budge was there. And that's why he said he was given permission to write the fucking books on ancient Egypt that he wrote. Okay then. So everywhere we look, you see Rockefeller, you see the Germans, you see the Rothschild, you see the Jews, okay? So I don't even have to, at this, let me keep moving forward. Let me add these crazy motherfuckers on here, okay? This is Amelia Edwards, okay? She's a fucking, just got a cracker that got money, and she went to Egypt, you understand, on some goddamn tour of Egypt, and she fell in love with Egypt, so they say, and she wanted to start a society to help preserve the ancient artifacts of Egypt. And so the name of the society was the Egyptian Exploration Society, which was started in 1882. Now, listen, they list her as an Egyptologist, even though she never went to school for nothing. They say she was homeschooled. So she never had no education of higher learning from any fucking university, but yet and still, they give her the title of Egyptologist. Now listen, the chair, now this is a chair, okay? A chair was founded for the Egyptian Exploration Society on the death of Amelia Edwards. okay, in 1892, who bequeathed her collection of Egyptian antiquities to the University College London, okay, together with a sum of £2,500 to found an Edwards Chair of Egyptology. Her protege, William Matthew Flinders Petrie, was the first to take the chair. Now, Flinders, they call him Professor Sir William Matthew Flinders Petrie, who is a professor of Egyptology, never went to school nowhere. He was given his title of professor by Amelia Edwards, who hadn't been to no goddamn school either. So goddamn it, these people is bestowing degrees on their goddamn self. Okay, goddamn it, shit, niggas out here ain't been to no school. Got more knowledge than goddamn Flinders Petrie and Amelia Edwards put together. Goddamn it, make them a goddamn PhD in Egyptology. Do y'all understand? These people never went to no school. Matthew Flinders Petrie was taught at home. See, that's their way of saying the motherfucker ain't been to school. He was taught at home. We know that people are taught at home today, but let it be known, these people is holding degrees, okay? These people is holding degrees. You get degrees at college. How the fuck is you got a degree in Egyptology and you was taught at the crib, okay? That's just a motherfucking question that must be asked. So that don't mean if you taught at home, you ain't got supreme knowledge. But why is you looking at these motherfuckers as professors and goddamn PhDs in Egyptology, bestow a goddamn degree on your goddamn self? What the hell is wrong with you? You think you got to go to a white man to get a goddamn degree? If you got the knowledge and you can put up or shut up, goddamn it, then bestow a goddamn degree on yourself, because the majority of these goddamn white people did the same thing. They did the same goddamn thing. Okay? And this motherfucker went on, Sir Francis, Flinders Petrie, who's all the way to the right, okay? He was in a partnership with Sir Francis Galton, the founder of eugenics, who is Sir Francis Galton is the cousin of Charles Darwin, okay? Sir Francis Galton, who Mary Sanger, with her racist ass, started Planned Parenthood in the United States of America, okay? A system to destroy African people. You understand what I'm saying? To destroy a people who they deem feeble-minded, an ape-like section of the human race. And so they created eugenics to fundamentally get rid of black people in the United States, where Darwin came up with this evolution that the more superior of the species will advance on. Eugenics was saying, we're not going to wait on nature. We are institutionalized eugenics to help nature. We'll quicken the shit up. We'll come up with some systematic, institutionalized rules to get rid of black people, where they was putting all type of diseases in the blood, sterilizing the men and the women. This is what they was doing. So this is eugenics, and goddamn Flinders Petrie was a partner to Sir Francis Galton at UCLA. Okay, he was sending mummies from Egypt to UCLA to Sir Francis Galton, who was continuing to come up with this niggas is close to monkeys and all of this shit. Flinders Petrie was right in on eugenics, right in on the very system of Planned Parenthood in America, right there in the racist goddamn cartel of white supremacists in Britain and in America. Okay, so right there you see Egyptology is married in many instances to eugenics. Okay? Do you understand that? Go look the shit up. Sir William Flinders Petrie was a partner to Sir Francis Galton. And Sir Francis Galton motherfucking contracted Flinders Petrie to write books for him in reference to eugenics. And so that's your Egyptology. So these are the motherfuckers that wrote all the history book, wrote all the goddamn the dictionaries on Egypt, the ancient Egyptian language. All of this was done before the Black Power explosion. Not one nigga had anything to do with it whatsoever. So you cannot come, goddamn, in 1980, 1990, and sprinkle no nigga sugar. And all they did was, take a couple of African languages and tried to replace, the Coptic or whatever with an African. But again, I want y'all to understand that the hieroglyphic symbols are esoterical, and that they have a meaning that can only be divulged by the scholars who created the symbol. You cannot take an African alphabet, you cannot take a European alphabet, you cannot take an Asian alphabet and apply them to symbols. So they fooling you by saying, okay, we're gonna add some African language. That shit ain't nothing but putting sugar on shit. Okay, fooling you so that it'll go down a lot smoother, but it's still shit. So do not let them fool you. When you go back to the original, and I'm about to end, family, I'm about to end. When you go back to the original, when we was dealing with the Greek, wait a minute, let me go down. Let me go down. Them goddamn Greeks, huh? Working out today. I want to go all the way down where you see the goddamn, right here. I'm going to go right here. And then I'll come back. See, when they started to take right here, you see Ptolemy. You see what I'm saying? Now, from Cleopatra to Ptolemy, you get 2, 3, you know what I'm saying, where they're trying, but that's Latin. You see what I'm saying? As you can see, it was an incomplete. You see what I'm saying? They could not do it because, number one, look at here. You see how I got Ptolemy at the top? See how I got Ptolemy at the top? That's totally different from the other goddamn spelling of Ptolemy. You understand what I'm saying? It changed from whatever Egyptologist you want to choose. God damn it, it changed. The spelling changed. You understand what I'm saying? So when the Greek failed, the methodology was done. Okay? And that's what happened. And the Greek did fail because it wouldn't have been no need for no motherfucking Coptic. If the Greek would have went letter for goddamn letter, and if you would have spelled it out and it was right and exact, you wouldn't have never needed Coptic. Okay, so the Greek, the supposed Greek on the Rosetta Stone and the rest of them stone failed. And you could not have taken 4 or 5 or 6 damn Greek rulers' names and put it on goddamn 5,000 goddamn symbols no goddamn way. Okay, so when the Greek failed, the methodology was done. But what they did is got slick. They went to add lie, smoothing it out, not showing people how they put that shit together. You see what I'm saying? And then let other languages come into play. German, French, you got Swedish Egyptologists. And they wrote that shit in Swedish and added Sweden vowels, German vowels, French vowels on top of the Latin, on top of the Coptic, on top of the Greek, on top of the Vulgar Latin, on top of all of that, not showing y'all the differences in translation from language to language. Latin is not Greek. And not only did they use Latin, they used modern Latin. They didn't use ancient Latin, what they call Vulgar Latin. Okay, they didn't use the Vulgar Latin. That's what French come out of. So to show you all of these variances of language that's added to the Medu Netta today, not one of them goddamn languages existed at the time of ancient Egypt. Therefore, you cannot use it. You cannot use languages that come thousands. We're talking about damn English come into existence in 800 AD. Okay, so if you go before 800 AD, you can't even express the fucking English, the Medu matter in English, because English don't exist, before 800 AD. And then even when you start speaking English, you're talking about old English. If you listen to a motherfucker talking old English compared to the modern English, you wouldn't even know what the fuck they was talking about. Okay? So you got to deal with the fact you got one language, one fake ass language that's supposed to go across 3,000 years. How the fuck is that possible, nigga? Goddamn, if you go back 200 years and tried to have a conversation with your ancestor, you wouldn't even know what the fuck he was talking about, nor would he know what you fucking talking about, because the language has evolved and it will continue to fucking evolve, over a course of time, to the point where it does not sound like itself 400 and 500 years later. Okay, New English does not sound like old English. New Latin don't sound like old Latin. New Greek don't sound like old Greek. So you have to understand what gets lost in translation when you jump from language to language to language to language. So I'm gonna end with this. Okay. Matter of fact, I think what Walter Williams I was gonna read from Walter Williams yesterday. Where is that at? Anybody want to give them crackers credit? Go right on ahead. You can have them. I'm moving forward. I know goddamn well them motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they talking about. Okay. Okay, Champollion accepted work on the hieroglyphs. Listen, now this is more appropriate today. Champollion's accepted work on the hieroglyphics inspired Adolf Ehrman, then curator of ancient Egyptian artifacts at the Berlin Museum. Ehrman was a student of Carl Richard Lipsius, German Egyptologist, who encouraged him to publish a grammatical dictionary of the hieroglyphs in 1880. The dictionary was revised in 1925 and finished in 1934. Ehrman's work created a new pseudo-direction and language for the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. His work inspired and gave E.A. Wallace Budge a guideline to write his book entitled The Book of the Dead, or the book for coming forth by day and by night. I urge you to read this appendix over and over again until you understand the reasons why the Medu or hieroglyphs have never been deciphered. I can now conclude by quoting from the book, The Rosetta Stone, written for the British Museum by Carol Andrews. Okay? It is impossible. Now, this is from the book, The Rosetta Stone, written for the British Museum by Carol Andrews. It is impossible to reduce 400 or more symbols of the hieroglyphs to 26 letters of an alphabetical system. What the Europeans did was decide which hieroglyphic systems will be used to represent a given letter of the alphabet. They matched and assigned letters of the alphabet to the hieroglyphic symbols of their choice. The arbitrary assigning of letters to symbols is evident with the acceptance of the pioneering works of J.J. Barthélemy, Count Sylvester de Sacy, Johann Alcibar, Thomas Young, and later of Jean Francis Champollion by the majority of Western academia. In 1822, Champollion, with the help of the works of Thomas Young and the Rosetta Stone, established a supposed system, theories, and principles for deciphering the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. His work at first was not accepted by other European scholars until another stone with bilingual inscriptions, the Decree of Conopsis, was discovered in 1866. This stone was believed to have confirmed the theories of Champollion. So I'm going to go here and end with this. And this is what the question, since that stone is supposedly is what cleared some shit up for the Egyptologists. This is the question by Walter Williams. After 44 years of widespread disagreement among the European scholars, how did the discovery of the stone of Conopsis in 1866 confirm Champollion's theories and readings of the hieroglyph? Number 2, where is the original stone of Conopsis? Number 3, who discovered the Conopsis stone? Number 4, how was the Conopsis stone discovered? Number 5, who validated the authenticity of the stone of Conopsis? And that's very profound fucking question, because anytime I went on the motherfucking internet, and you can look it up, the Decree of Conopsis, you can't even find one good fucking image of the stone. They won't even put it up. So where the fuck is it? So they never believed that niggas would come behind them, Africans would come behind them and ask them goddamn questions. And now that the questions is being asked, we can validate that they don't even have the shit. They don't even have it. Look it up. So it was supposedly Richard Lipson that supposedly found it. But anytime I go to look for the motherfucker, and I'm thinking to myself, if this motherfucking stone was that important, you would think they would have the motherfucker all over the internet for people to do research. Go look it up. Go look up the Decree of Conopsis. Can't even find a goddamn image of the motherfucker. They won't even put it up, okay? Because the motherfucker is fake, okay? Even that stone ain't gonna do nothing with no 5,000 glyphs. I'm about to end, family. I'm about to end. The bottom line is, again, that it's a hidden language. And that's what it was taught for 2,000 years into these years. And let it be clear, for any motherfucker that got a problem, go look it up. Even Champollion, early in his career, believed that the glyphs was esoterical, okay? And even after they put that fake shit together, the majority of Egyptologists still did not fuck with it. Why? If this was so profound, why didn't the rest of the world even fuck with it? Because they knew the shit was fake, okay? But now they pulling in all these artifacts from ancient Egypt and people asking them, like, why are you stealing? And so to change the narrative from thievery to science, they had to come up with the Medu to make it look like the thievery that was going on was scientific work, which it wasn't. It was just blatant thievery, okay? And so by giving it some science and shit, that's saying, oh, we over here doing scientific exploration. But in reality, motherfucker, you in the tomb looking for gold and looking for goddamn treasure so you can put up in the goddamn museum. I'm done with y'all, man. I'm done. And so I'm going to end with this. If you translate it, then duplicate it. That's it. That's the final motherfucking proof of any transliteration. Not the mouthing, okay? Not the mouthing. That's not proof. Many niggas cry, you know, because they saying, how will we know what ancient Egypt was if we didn't have a language? Nigga, if you was over in Egypt If we had thousands of African scholars going to Egypt for 200 years, I'm quite confident we would have came up with some form of understanding of our own. Just because they got to jump on your ass because you was in slavery and they did all this work, you understand, you too lazy to go do the shit for yourself. You just accept the thievery and the lies and add sugar on shit just to justify not going to do the work for yourself. Okay, whatever amount of time it takes for us to go in there, we'll get our understanding if the like minds and the righteous minds go over there and do the work. Talk to our brothers and sisters, and even then, a lot of it is still going to be lost to time because ain't nobody gonna go back and understand what 5,000 fucking symbols that got a meaning that didn't die with the people that put it up on the goddamn wall and put it on the scroll. Okay, the only thing we could do is salvage what is left in righteous intent, and what ain't there, nigga, we gonna establish again on the planet. It's coming again. That's all you have to just, but to just accept the thievery of our sacred works and let these crackers have, the credit for deciphering the sacred language of ancient Africa is unacceptable from Black scholars. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I must say that. It is unacceptable for y'all to let them have any credit whatsoever when you know that the civilization was over before the white man even stood up on two fucking legs. It's fucking unacceptable. And so I don't give a fuck what y'all do with it. You can sprinkle all the sugar on shit. Just get ready to do the work. We got work to do. That's all that's saying. We got work to do. If we had 200 years, like these crackers had 200 years to go in there and pillage and rob, I'm quite sure we would have far more books than they got, and it'll be more close to the truth than they ever could even come close to. Okay? So family, have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in yourself. All right, family. How we doing? Give me my grade for the day, y'all. Go over them goddamn scholars. Go over every line, and then go in any one of them books or them fake niggas. If you see any one of them goddamn scholars used in any goddamn book by a Black scholar or whatever, call their ass on it. Say, did you know that was a Jew? Did you know they believed that Egypt was white? Do you understand that they had created that language and didn't have one Black scholar nowhere close to it? Did you understand that? So you accept all of that? You accept, you changed what? Oh, you just changed a little bit? Oh, okay. You niggified it. You niggified it. But do you understand that the methodology was fraudulent from the beginning? Did you understand that the Greek that was on the Rosetta Stone was insufficient and it couldn't match a letter for symbol, and that they had to use other languages to fill in where there was gaps? And that's just like planting evidence on a motherfucker that was not there to get us a said result. Did anybody tell you that? Did you know that Adolf Ehrman was a Jew and that the largest ancient Egyptian dictionary was funded by Rockefeller, and that the first institution of Egyptology in America was funded by Rockefeller, and that the Rosetta Stone in the British Museum was under the trustee of the Rothschilds? Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Who writes in their books that we're monkeys in the Talmud, all these Zionist Jews that write in the Talmud that Blacks are monkeys and that we're the curse of Canaan, who believes that the Egyptians are a white race? Do you know that? And so what are we to do with this, Medu? I'm going to tell you what to do with it. Take that shit to the nearest motherfucking garbage can and dispose of it and get ready to go to work. All right, family, this is the General Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power. Where my grades at? Where my grades at? Give me my goddamn grades, I said. How I do, family? Take that shit to the nearest garbage can and throw that shit in there. That's right, family. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for staying in here with me. I know that's a lot of information, but I'm convinced that I gave y'all all y'all need to go do y'all own research. And if you find any discrepancies in what I taught, or if you want to add something, general, please hit me up. Help me. If you find something outside of what please, I'm going to give you credit. Y'all know I always give family credit. Give you credit for that. You understand what I'm saying? Help me out. But if you can refute all of that, which not a nigga have been able to do it, that's why they silent. And y'all as students gonna go in there and check their books, all them niggas out there, and see if go do that. Go check all them niggas in that Medu net and see if they reference these white boys, and you got it. All right, family. I'll see you soon. I'm out of here. Black Pop.